I suppose everybody comes up to you with your famous line, "Is this the party to whom I am speaking?"
Oh, yes, I get that quite a bit, right.
What reaction do you get from PBX operators about that bit?
Oh, well, they've loved it, I think. They've given me awards and they've given me dinners, and I think they like it because because management got a little uptight about it, you know. So the operators themselves seem to have just loved it.
What
They've really been responsive.
what has the telephone company management been offended by?
Um, well, they were especially, I think, in the beginning because there was the inference that they had dossiers on people, and that they had recorded conversations, and um, they weren't too keen on it, you know, because they didn't know which way the wind was going to blow. As it turned out, of course, it's probably done more for them public relations wise than anything else. I had not intended it to be that way, you know. So much so that they've tried to get Ernestine to do to do commercials for the phone company, but I've declined that offer.
Ernestine doesn't want to get into that.
No.
Huh? Which have been the ones that the public has responded to the most, Lily?
Of the characters, you mean?
Well, I mean, when you're talking on the telephone.
Oh, you mean the people that Ernestine talks
Yes.
to? Well, I think I've had comments about everything, ultimately, but of course, people jumped on Mr. Beadle right away because he was the first one she talked to, and they've been very keen on Millhouse too. I don't know why they make those distinctions, but people will see me and they'll say, call Millhouse, or call Mr. Beadle, or did Mr. Beadle ever pay, and you know.
What about the one with Hubert Humphrey, Mr. Humphrey?
Oh, right. I just Ernestine called Mr. Humphrey to ask him to pay $1.50 or $1.55 or something, and he said that it had been made while he was vice president, and it had been a call to Texas, to the ranch, and he hadn't really spoken. He said he'd been on hold for 2 minutes, but we said he had to pay anyway. And then I decided that, well, he probably couldn't afford it on a teacher's salary, so I decided to charge it to Agnew, because that's the main mission anyway, is to get those calls charged up to somebody. It doesn't matter who. I mean,
Yes.
that goes on at the telephone company. I mean, people who collect. There's a name for operators who have to track down these long-distance phone calls, and they're called collection ticket investigators. And they have a certain amount, they have tickets with long-distance calls that people have refused to pay for one reason or another, and that's their job, to track those calls down and get them paid.
Lily, was this a bit that you were doing before you got associated with the Laugh-In show?
Yes, it was.
Where did you first do it?
I did it about 6 months before I went on Laugh-In. I was doing it in my act at the upstairs, at the downstairs, and then I did it. I performed. I was on another show on ABC in September last year. I was just on shortly before I went on Laugh-In. I was going to do it on that show, The Telephone Operator. It was a show called Music Scene, but the ABC censors wouldn't let me. They took it off. They didn't want to offend the telephone company. So then when I went to Laugh-In, of course, Ernestine found a place to live.
Did you know any of the Laugh-In people before you came on the series?
I knew Ruth Buzzy.
Yes.
I knew her from New York, but I didn't know anyone else. It was like a new kid going to a new school, you know.
Well, this surely has been a great thing for you because, boy, now everybody knows who you are, don't they?
It has. It is terrific, especially because Laugh-In gives you so much freedom. You know, they encourage you to do the kind of thing that you do.
I don't know what to call this other thing you do, Lily. It's not a double talk thing. How do you describe it?
Well, on the show we call her the fast talker, and
Can you do a little of her now?
well, I can't. I would do it the thing is, if I could, I would do it if I could I would try to do it, but see, the first part is that the thing, most of all, it's not. I would try. I can't do it.
You sure can't rehearse that, can
No,
you? There's no way you could ever
right.
rehearse
No,
a
I
bit.
just ad-lib it, and sometimes it works better than other times.
Who inspired that? How did you start doing that?
I just did it because I think a lot of people talk like that. I do myself, when I'm excited, and I know that a lot of other people do too. And I know it for a fact that they do now because people will come to me and they'll say, "Oh, you make me think of my wife," or a lady will come and she'll say, "My family says that's me talking." And because people do, when they're excited or enthusiastic, they're thinking so much faster than they can talk that's how it comes out.
Will we have any changes in the cast this year on Life in
Oh
Bloom?
yes, I'm sure we will. There'll probably be a lot of new people, and there'll be some of us old ones there too.
Are there any of the regulars leaving
Well,
this year?
Goldie's leaving, of course, because she's making movies, and I'm not just sure who's leaving. I'm not. We haven't gone back to work yet, and I don't know.
Well, Lily, thank you for talking with us today here in Hollywood, and continued good luck to you.
Thank you, Bobbie. Thank you.